Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and if you just saw my top 5 solo games, you probably saw me talking about this character for Paperback Adventures. So I really found myself enamored with Paperback Adventures after I backed it on Kickstarter, but the hardest thing about this game is that you really want to get all the characters. And so when I backed this, I got Damsel, which is a character that you get to play specifically in a genre, because this is like a pulpy novel, and you are essentially battling your way through lackeys and bosses at 3 different stages by playing word combos. So this is essentially a letter building, word building game as you beef up your character, because you need the core box for Paperback Adventures, and then you need your character box. The other 2 that I could have picked from were Plot Hook and Ex Machina, but now they are releasing Iron Knee, and I have to tell you, I'm 100% enamored with the gameplay, the style, and the theme of this character. So I want to show you what she does and how she works in the game, and of course I'll tell you a little bit about how the game works so that you know really what the feel of this game is. So I actually have this set up right in the middle of a game. I got through Lackey 1 and essentially Book 1 Lackey. So this is pre-production copy, so keep that in mind. They always have wonderful graphics right here depicting the characters, but essentially you have to go through your first book, Lackey, and they are always a 2-parter. Once you have essentially defeated them, and of course dealt with their ongoing effects, you will flip them over, and then you have to do it again. But once you get them down for the second stage, you will say, gotcha, and you're going to have a moment where you can turn in your points, and you can grab some stuff at the shop. You can get items, MacGuffins, letters, and things like that. But you also get a card here. I'm going to shuffle through and get this Book 1 Lackey, and it's going to be specific to your story and your character. It's going to give you one side or the other, and you get to have everything that's listed there. So you can do all of these things, or you can do all of these things. And they're slightly different, but they do give you a chance to kind of regroup, maybe heal, build up your letter deck, and then so forth. So you're going to have these cards. They're going to be 3 books, and that totals 6 different enemies. And of course, once you're through with that Book 1 Lackey, you're going to go to Book 1 Boss. And yikes, yikes, yikes. The bosses are hard. But the cool thing about the bosses is that their bonus when you defeat them is that they let you add letters, not just replace them. Now that's what lackeys let you do. So your deck isn't getting bigger, it's just getting more focused on what you'd like. So Book 1, Lackey and Boss, I passed. Book 2, Lackey and Boss. So the Dance Off and the Guardian Line, I passed. So that's where you're getting me. That's where you're getting me right now. I have earned a whole bunch of cool items and MacGuffins, and this is cool too. Iron Knee begins with a childhood trophy. Again, the graphics are coming. This is pre-production, but this is your starting, it's not an item necessarily, but it's going to be what you start with. Traditional core card, this is it. Whenever you spend a boon in combat, give a hex to the enemy, and the enemy loses 1 hit point. It's pretty fantastic. But unlike all the other characters, there are no starting items for Iron Knee. But you think, why not? Because guess what? Iron Knee has this thing called stances. And the stances are, again, so thematic and so critical to planning your whole turn. It gives you this extra stage, essentially. So there's this thing right here. It's called Center Stance. And you put this underneath your character card, and when you splay your word, which you spell in the next phase, if you splay right, you're going to move this marker to the card over here, And if you splay left, you're going to move them over here. Now, you start with 2 cards. And the great thing is that they've got their little starter symbol at the bottom. So you're going to start with Turtle Stance and Snake Stance, and they give you something to do, again, before you execute your cards. But this one says, during the clash phase, for each hex you have, ignore a block from the enemy. And Turtle Stance, during the clash phase, gain 1 block for each hex on the enemy. So these are your start ones, and you're wondering, why don't I have the start cards? Well, after every battle, what you get to do is it says here, after a boss battle, draw 2 new stance cards, and you may choose to replace 1 existing stance. I've done that. So you've got all these stances: Firebird Stance, Tiger Stance, Monkey, Horse, Crane, Frog, and your 2 starters. And you draw 2 and choose to replace 1. And so that's why I've got 2 totally different stances. But this affects your gameplay. I also drew a Boss MacGuffin Ancestors artifact, and I got to put that onto one of my other cards. It may double or halve any single number on the card when I use it, including the energy cost. So anytime you see a number, I've attached it to Punching Bag because it's pretty versatile. It could become 1 energy that I use, or it could be gain 2 block and 1 hit, or it could be gain 1 block and 2 hit, both for the cost of 2. So any one of those numbers, that's what that Ancestors artifact does. So the Punching Bag, again, thematically fits in really well with Iron Knee. It kind of has that Karate Kid feel to it. I also have some Chopsticks. This is another one of my items that I gained. It's only 1 energy. And this is a really great way to knock the enemy down when they are low, but you can't get those final 2 blows in. And then the enemy loses those final 2 hit points and you gain a boon. I also have Pizza. This is a single-use card, and I love the choice here. You get 2 of the options below, then flip the card. They're fantastic. It's 2, but you get to use this essentially once per battle, and it goes away. And just the last thing I got another Boss MacGuffin card right before this round 3 or book 3, and it is a miniature heart. Draw 1 more card each hand. I'm just on board. So I'm getting ready to fight the goons. Iron Knee is set up with all my stats. We've got these markers here. The difference here is that the goons are only defeated when they lose their boons. And so their boon marker is going to be all the way at 10. They're not necessarily hit by the hit points. And so it says I'm defeated when I have 0 boons. And this marker here, let's get the this marker. We're going to get this guy. Oops. These guys pinch in pretty nicely. But I'm going to start here, and I'm going to pop that guy right here, and it tells you what they're going to do. That's the other cool thing about this game, is you always know what the enemy is going to do on their turn, so you can anticipate it, you can thwart it, and you can essentially mitigate it. So you know they're going to do Reckless Rush this turn. Next turn they're going to do Overwhelm, then Caution, then Regroup. However, you do have this. You have an enemy vowel. So if you look here and you see goons with the O highlighted, you're going to take the enemy vowel and you're going to put it into your player area, and you're going to put those other enemy vowels back. This is because it's highlighted in yellow. And this says, advance the enemy's action indicator by 1. It will change it. But when you do this, it's so powerful to skip one of those if you really think it's critical to your success, because this card will exhaust. It will exhaust and it will go away, and it essentially doesn't come back until you get your new enemy. And so it's risky. It's a good choice to make when you need to, but it does allow you to essentially skip down and do the next one if you're really, really needing it to do. The other thing the game offers players is a way to make the game harder or easier. Let's say you're really struggling. You can do this, gritty realism. Oh, that's bad. The positive is essentially bad. So this makes it harder. Draw 1 less card each hand. But here it says draw 1 more card each hand, Power Fantasy, and it's a 5, -5. So these cards, these purple ones, essentially change your game. And I think they're really, really interesting. These are bad, right? Draw 2 cards from the penalty deck and add them to your deck at the start of the game. Fascinating ways to change the game, and there are just a handful of these. So this comes with that core deck. I'm going to shuffle my deck. This is my letters. I have upgraded some of these. I have gained some letters. I have some really interesting things in here. And I'm going to draw 4 cards, which is the start of the game, but because I have a miniature heart, I get to draw a 5th one. Normally, you just get to draw 4 and you turn them over. So this is the draw cards phase. Let me show you this card up here. And again, this is going to be your character card. You can pick which side you want it to be on. This is a super duper pretty side. Life brought her countless battles. She brought life poetic justice. 20 hit points starts, and then you got your round overview down here. But I like this side because it reminds me of all the different cool things that Iron Knee does. So it reminds me of Echo, Juice, Combo, and Stances, which I've talked very briefly about, but stances grant unique benefits. Heck yeah. So round overview, prep, draw cards, plan word, use items. Now here's the deal. At the start of this round, I don't have any of those energy, the lightnings, so I'm not going to be able to use my items in the very first round, but I'm hopefully going to be able to spell a dynamite word. So these are going to be my letters that I drew randomly. It has a lot of defense, and I'm going to, let's see here. Yeah, a lot of defense, some fights. So now that I've got my letters out here, I need to consider what I know the opponent is going to do, and it looks like they're going to attack me. They're going to deal 3 damage. Now I'm going to look at some of my bonuses. Now here's my O. Cards will only take effect if they are the top letter of your word, and you'll get to do the action in the center. But then that card is exhausted for the entire battle. So if I look at this card, this allows me to do Echo. Echo says here on my card, I can spend a boon to return it to the top of the deck instead of fatigue it. That's cool. That's really, really cool, but I have to have a boon to do that. I don't have any boons. And I don't have any cards here that are going to get me boons. So this is probably the letter I want to start with. Look at this. D says if I didn't use an item this turn, which I can't because I don't have enough energy to, and I don't think I'm going to use my childhood trophy because I don't have boons, gain 2 energy and give 2 hexes. I want to start with this one. So let me see if I can spell something this way. Because I could spell the word dome. I could spell, what else could I spell? I have an O. I could spell doom. If I don't use my wild card, I can gain an energy at the end of my turn, which is kind of cool. So let's say, I want to say dome. I'm going to leave, this is amazing too. I mean, some of these cards are just so cool. This is the other thing. You get combos with this particular character. If you can put a circle next to a circle in your word, adjacent to each other, with nothing in between it, you gain what's here. So if I could put this circle next to another circle, which I don't have, boy, that's rough. Then I could gain 7 hits. Right now, hits don't really do much because I need to hit them, essentially lower their boons. So, yeah, this is a great one too. If I can fully block the enemy's attack, I gain 4 hits. I have to be really careful though because these goons definitely fight differently than any normal enemy. So I think I want to do dome. Now, the next thing I have to do is figure out, do I want to do a right splay or a left splay? Now, I have to keep the rule book open every single time. Because otherwise, I can't, I never can tell if I'm splaying right or left. I don't know what my problem is with my brain, but it just doesn't work. So if I want defense, I can do it this way, where I am getting defense, but now I will activate this card. So if I want to do it the other way, and I want to activate my, my D, I'm essentially only getting 2 defense to the 3. It's not the worst. And then I gain an energy, and because I didn't use the item this turn, I can gain even more. So I think I'm going to use all of this, and that's me doing draw cards, plan word, use items. And then we're going to go to the clash. Top card, gain what it says, and then damage enemy, perform the enemy action, use your blocks on the attack. Okay, so I'm going to receive 1 energy for this one right here. Let me get that guy. And then I'm not going to poke it in yet because if I didn't use an item, I get 2 more energy. I'm going to put that at 3. And then I'm going to give 2 hexes. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it up there to 2. They've got 2 hexes. And then I'm going to defend against 3. So I'm going to go down by 1 from my 20 to my 19 because they did do damage to me. This letter gets exhausted for the entire battle. These are all going to go to my discard pile. I'm going to keep that right there. And then I will get for my wild card, I also gain the 1. So I'm going to pop this out and go to 4. And now we do cleanup. Fatigue my card, discard my cards, advance the enemy action. So I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to move down here. The next one though is I deal 12 damage. I do 1 less damage for each letter in your word. Oh no. We are going to start our next round. Oh, my stance. So I just said I had to figure out if I'm going to go right or if I'm going to go left. Let me recreate my word so that I can show you what that is. Can't believe I forgot it already. So I use my D as my top card, and you look here and it says I slayed right because that's the way mine goes, and I go right, and it says whenever you switch to this stance, gain 2 hits. If the enemy has 4 or more hex, gain 5 hits instead. Hits don't do anything to this guy. So I'm going to keep it over there though because if I move it left, it goes here. If I move it left, it goes here. So I need this to go left this next time. I really needed that defense though. So again, discard pile. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, miniature heart, 5. Let's take a look at what I've got. Wow, okay. What can I spell with this? I've got ranch. Maybe I can use my wild card. Let me see here. Let's do this. Let's see here. I need to do, boy, do I need to do, I'm going to use that wild card right here. I need defenses. And as long as my word gets, if I can get more letters in my word, which would include these, it's 1 less than 12 for all of that. And I essentially need to take the boons away. Remove a boon from the enemy. I need to do that. I need to find the cards to remove that. Yes, I can add hexes here. I can block. I can deal this. The enemy loses, nope, the enemy loses 1 hit point. Gosh, I need something that helps me with those boons. I hope my cards will come up. I do have this circle square. Now that's an interesting thing. It can be circle square or square circle. It doesn't matter. You can invert the symbols. So putting these essentially like that would give you the circle square. So I said ranch. Let me see what this does. I do want the block. Oh, that's so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. They would only do 2 damage to me, and I would get 2 more lightnings. So do I want to use any of my, I have 4 energies. Do I want to use any of my items though? I can gain 2 block with a single use and heal a point. Yeah, I think I like this. So I'm going to use my pizza 1 time. I'm going to use essentially 2 of my energies, and I'm going to pick 2 of the options. I want to heal 1, and I want to gain 2 block. So let's do that. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to heal 1 back to 20, and I'm going to gain 2 block. Here I have my, do I have my circle square? Oh my gosh, I planned on it, and then I didn't even have my circle square combo. Oh man, how can I do this? How can I do this? How can I get circle next to square? Oh, I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Nope, I can't do this. Fern? I want furnish. Fern? No, maybe I just have fern. That just doesn't feel like that much. It doesn't feel like that much, and I don't get the H at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the game. This is the puzzle. This is what you have to figure out. And honestly, I am full in. I am in. I love the stances. I love that I get to check out those items. I don't ever forget your enemy vowel. This is super, super cool. And you saw how I just was like, I need that 5 block. I need the 5 block because I'm going to be overwhelmed. But I've got to get my circle next to my square. And you see those right here on those letter cards. So you've got the circle next to the square. And that's the combo. So yeah, gaining boons is pretty good for me. But I need to get that defense. Because again, those hits don't get through with these guys. Yeah. Now here's Juice. We haven't seen Juice yet. Let me see if I've got I don't think I have a Juice card. I think I might need to essentially upgrade it. But a Juice is, you may spend 1 to 2 energy to gain the listed effect. You can repeat this multiple times. Juice is really, really good. Let me see if I can find that card in here. Nope. Oh boy, I need to get the cards that essentially, oh, this is so cool. Look at this. If I'm in center stance, I gain 6 energy. Yes, please. So good. So good. Gain a boon, give 2 hex, center stance, more stuff, gain blocks. Echo Juice. Here we go. Here's a Juice card. Fantastic. 1 time, gain a block. Because you played H and it's on your top card, that's where you're going to find those. Again, so, so cool. Now, I do want to tell you a little bit about what the campaign is going to offer. So, the first thing is you've got Iron Knee included with a multiplayer box for the Binding Nexus. So, you need the core box when you want to play with Iron Knee. But the multiplayer box allows you to play cooperatively and simultaneously with up to 4 players. Not necessarily my style, not what I'm going for. This is a solo box game for me. I'm not going to be doing this. I mean, you could see it just takes up a lot of space anyway. Another thing that's going to be included in the campaign with Iron Knee is a reprint for all the original characters, yes, and the core box, and then a big box, number 2, that's going to help you store all your current and future content in a single box. And they also have a Character Retcon pack that gives you new cards and mechanics to change each of the original 3 characters. It's just cool. I'm so glad that Paperback Adventures is picking up steam because I think it is a clever, fun puzzle game that asks you to spell, and essentially the way you spell your word gives you particular bonuses, and you always get to activate that top card, but guess what? That top card goes away. And so your deck will winnow, it will get smaller as you continually fight against the lackey and then fight against the boss, and fingers crossed, you get through these battles because they are 2-parters. This is such a dynamic challenge. Every time I play, I just keep getting better and better, which means I might want to be putting in the cards that maybe kind of thwart my plans or make it hard. But you can see with the goons, I was already struggling. Book 3, lackeys and baddies bosses are no joke. The stuff here with Iron Knee, though, specifically is just fantastic. I love the stances. I love that you get to trade those out. The combos are where it's at. I love the combo bonus. And then, of course, you get Echo and Juice. Just some fantastic stuff here. And just top-notch with the theme. So, this is it. This is fun. This is just a really, really lovely experience for one, which is me. And every time I play this and every time I talk about this, my husband keeps just getting more and more and more jealous. I still haven't shared this with him. He cannot wait to play it. So just so cool and fantastic new 4th character with Iron Knee. Go check out the campaign. I've got all the details in the description below, and you can find what they're doing and what you can essentially get in on. All right, everybody, that's it for me this time. I'll see you later. Bye.